Hi, I'm Jim Clare, sommelier and sales representative for Young's Market Company of Oregon, and I sit here today in the wine cellar of Willamette Valley Vineyards where I will tell a tale of bold men and women who overcame harsh conditions, broken axles, prohibition, treachery, exhaustion, and defied death many times to bring the world the yearly tradition unlike any other. Of course, I'm talking about Oregon Wine Month. You see, Oregon Wine Month was not always as simple as finding a few new features in a restaurant for the month of May or throwing up a 3-case display near the cold box per the planner. Oh no, it is so much more than that. Oregon Wine Month is as ingrained in the history of this great state as salmon fishing and the Goonies. So sit back and enjoy and learn not what Oregon Wine Month is about, but why Oregon Wine Month is so important to our great state. In 1824, the Hudson's Bay Company completed construction on Fort Vancouver and Fort Astoria on opposite sides of the Columbia River. These forts employed over 600 people and had 34 outposts all over Oregon. After fighting through a particularly harsh winter, newly elected President James Monroe declared that the people of this territory should be rewarded with a month-long celebration of revelry and happiness. Hidden in the bottom of his famous Monroe Doctrine is a declaration that May will forever be known as Ye Olde Oregon Wine Month. Now, these settlers and early Oregonians were very excited to drink Oregon wines for a month, but they had a problem. Someone would have to deliver the wines across the Oregon Trail to their local retail outlets and restaurants and saloons. And that is where one man came to the rescue. Back in St. Louis, a particularly strong and charismatic fellow named James grabbed his loving wife and 2 children, loaded up the oxen-drawn wagon with supplies and 15 cases of wine, and headed down the Oregon Trail to deliver the first ever shipment of Oregon Wine Month wines. This new American hero had to ford rivers, shoot bears, and fight off dysentery as he traversed the Great Western Territory. In his journal, James wrote a story about how one particularly unusual April day, he saw a competitor's wagon from the southern part of the United States. This competitor was bringing free wine to accounts and breaking laws to try to sell in their lower quality swill and take floor space away from James's family. However, as always happens with cheaters and folks who take shortcuts, this competitor from the south met his match. In May of 1825, James pulled up to his first stop, Frederick Myers Grocery Store in Portland, Oregon. Oregonians jumped for joy. The hero was celebrated and the great Oregon Wine Month tradition was born. Throughout the years, demand for Oregon Wine Month expanded. Eventually, James's son Jim was forced to upgrade their oxen-drawn covered wagon to a gasoline-powered super delivery machine. He was able to deliver 10 times more wine per day than before. All up and down Route 99, case stacks were built, wine features were placed, and love for Oregon wine grew exponentially. In 1940, the family's business merged with a new industry giant from California, the Young's Market Company. With their fancy red trucks, warehousing, and incredible sales staff, they were able to dominate Oregon Wine Month for years to come. In the 1980s, great Oregonian families started opening wineries right here in the Willamette Valley. Visionaries like Dick Erath, David Lett, Susan Sokolblosser, and Jim Bernot forged new ground for Oregon wine. They planted grapes, built wineries, and invited Oregonians from all around into their homes to share the Oregon wine story with the world. They and many others combined to make world-class Burgundian-style wines with a focus on Pinot Noir that gave the people of Oregon a sense of place and pride in the wine world. It is these visionaries, these new heroes of Oregon, that we celebrate each May. The tradition of Oregon Wine Month is to carry these stories forward, to teach the world what Oregon wine is about and how Oregon wine is unlike any other. The reason the Oregon Trail stopped in the Willamette Valley is because the settlers had discovered a new Eden, a place so close to heaven that they had to stay. And we are lucky enough to live here, to grow wine here, and to sell it every day. Oregon Wine Month isn't about hitting a number or making a goal. Oregon Wine Month is a celebration of everything that we do. Over 17,000 people work in the Oregon wine industry in one way or another. Oregon has 702 wineries. Oregon makes 1% of the domestic wine in America, but garners 20% of the 90+ rated scores. It is an honor to be a part of that, to stand on the shoulders of modern-day giants and share the Oregon wine story. Please join me in celebrating Oregon Wine Month. Cheers.